Welcome back to the 90 More Podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. The UEFA Champions League is back. The second leg of the round of 16 is starting this week. And of course, we have some very big fixtures. A few teams have to make glory in this week. Benfica take on Club Brugge. I think Benfica are quite comfortable in that one. We're going to be previewing that game. Chelsea take on Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea could turn it around, or Borussia Dortmund could go through. They have a 1-0 advantage. Tottenham Hotspur take on Milan. Milan, of course, won the first leg in Italy. A 0-0. They have that advantage, but can Spurs turn it around? Bayern Munich as well, winning 1-0 against Paris Saint-Germain in, of course, France at the Parc des Princes. The game is now at the Allianz Arena in Germany. Could Paris Saint-Germain turn it around? We're going to be diving into my predictions. We're going to be diving into the previews of all these games. Hit the like button, subscribe in the comment box below. Chelsea fans, Dortmund fans, Tottenham Hotspur fans, talk to me. Can Chelsea turn it around? Can Tottenham Hotspur turn it around? Can Paris Saint-Germain turn it around? I think it's one of those legs where we saw fine margins in the opening games. Dortmund 1-0, Milan 1-0, Paris Saint-Germain winning 1-0. So it's very, very fine margins. And in the end, it's 1 or 2 goals to turn it around, and whoever won the first leg could be out, or whoever lost the first leg could actually progress to the next round as well. So game number 1 is Bayern Munich taking on Paris Saint-Germain, and I think this is a game of mediocres this season, to be honest. Bayern have not been at their best. You look at that performance at the Parc des Princes, it wasn't that good, right? When they went to France, I thought they played that kind of football that just allows them or just facilitates them to get a result at the Parc des Princes. And they were very, very lucky that PSG created two very good chances. And in the end, none of those chances actually stood. But in my opinion, if Paris Saint-Germain created more chances, if they had created better chances in that game, that is a game they could have easily won in the 90s or even in the 80s, in the 80s in that game, or a draw. At least they should have had a result. But this is the problem I have with PSG. There are times when they are too good, like when they beat Marseille, they beat Nice, they beat almost each and every quality side they come up against. And then there are times when they are absolutely shite. There are times when they're absolutely very, very poor. And like in that game against Bayern, you're at home at the Parc des Princes. You can't be losing like that. Losing 1-0 is very, very good. It's very okay. Like that's a result you can easily, turn around. The moment Kylian Mbappe didn't start that game, of course, the moment you play a little bit better at the Allianz Arena, you change the game. But what I have a problem with PSG here is the performances are actually very, very poor. The performances are sickening. They're total satanic football. In that game, I thought Bayern were the better side for around 70 minutes or even 80 minutes. It was only the last 10 minutes that Kylian Mbappe came on and they started creating something different. Now, you've got to ask yourself, are they a one-man team? If Kylian Mbappe is not on the pitch, if Kylian Mbappe isn't playing, can't PSG grind out results? If they can't, then for me, they're not a UEFA Champions League team. They cannot win it this campaign. Now, the other blow to Paris Saint-Germain is that they're losing Neymar to an injury. He will be going through surgery in Doha. They won't have Neymar probably for the rest of the season. They now have to find a way of playing Messi, Kylian Mbappe, and another player, maybe Hugo Ekitike, on that front three just to find results. So it's a game that I don't think Paris Saint-Germain will go to Germany and pick up points. Bayern are also dwindling here and there. You look at their form in the German Bundesliga, it's coming up. It's actually becoming much more better. They're becoming that consistent side. But the problem is you don't know when Bayern are going to concede. You don't know to who they are capable of conceding, and you actually do not know whether Bayern are capable of winning a game every single week. That's my problem with Bayern this campaign. And I actually had backed them to go all the way and win the UEFA Champions League this campaign because I really, really want them to win it. I don't want Madrid to do a double. I don't want PSG to win it. I even don't want Manchester City to win it, or even Chelsea, right? So I'm going to back Bayern in this game. I will back Bayern. I'm not 100% sure Bayern are not going to do me a disaster here, but I'm going to be back Bayern. It's a game that will end 2-2 at the Allianz Arena, and Paris Saint-Germain will be regretting why they lost such a vital game at the Parc des Princes in France. If they don't lose that game, in my opinion, they go through. But in this one, they won't go through. I'm saying Bayern 2, Paris Saint-Germain 2. Bayern going through on aggregate 3-2. Bayern never disappoint in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, they do disappoint, but they won't disappoint this time. Paris Saint-Germain are not that kind of club that are ready for this big stage, in my opinion. I think Mbappe is quality. I think they have some good players in there. But can they carry this team against Bayern in Germany? I don't see it happen. If it happens, I'll be very, very surprised. Game number 2 is Tottenham Hotspur taking on AC Milan. It will be coming your way on a Wednesday as well. Now, Tottenham Hotspur are quite a really ridiculous side. They are consistently inconsistent this season. The one thing they've done so well this season is pick up points, drop points, pick up points, and drop points. I mean, the one thing they've done very well this season is being inconsistent. And if you want to win, for example, if you want to win the UCL, which Antonio Conte can actually do perform miracles in because he's that kind of manager, he's got that profile, you need to be consistent. Like, you can't lose Wolves, you can't beat Manchester City, and then you lose to Leicester, and then you lose to Wolves, and then you can't do that. They need to find a run of games, maybe 5 games, maybe 6 games, pick up some decent results, and that's actually going to define where they finish this season and what they can get or achieve this season. In my opinion, I could be stupid here. They're in the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. They could go as far as the semi-finals. And this is very, very ridiculous of me. This is a very, very high tech, a ridiculous tech. But Tottenham could go up to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Now, I love Milan and I've watched Milan all this season. Milan is not the side that dumps Tottenham Hotspur out of the UEFA Champions League round of 16. I think Milan do have some good players in there. I think Theo Hernandez is quality. Sandro Tonali is good. Milan's goalkeeper actually is back to Tatarusano, is out of the starting lineup. I think Meunier is back in the starting 11. But do they have the quality to see them through in London? Do they have the quality to come against Tottenham Hotspur at the White Hart Lane and create a disaster? I don't see that. Tottenham will need 3-1. 3-0, 2-0 to progress, and I see that happen. The worst that's going to happen in the 90 minutes of this game is Tottenham winning 1-0, and we go to extra time and possibly penalties. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a low-scoring game in my opinion, but I don't back AC Milan to come to England, to come to London and put in a shift, to put in a masterclass. Now, I might be wrong about this, all right? I might really, really be wrong about this because Tottenham, like I said, they're very inconsistent. They can disappoint. But come on, you've got to beat Milan. The Olivier Giroud, the Divock Origi. That is the Milan you're going to lose to. You can't be doing that, okay? So for me, Spurs, inconsistent. Milan, also kings of inconsistency this season. How about Milan going through? How about Tottenham Hotspur going through? So I'm going to predict Tottenham Hotspur 3, Milan 1. Okay? And yes, I said it's going to be a low-scoring goal, but I'm going with the 3-1 on aggregate. 3-1 on aggregate. It means Spurs win this one 3-0. Am I ridiculous here? Am I really being ridiculous? But I'm going to go with that. Spurs 3-1 on aggregate. They will go through. I don't see Milan. I think Milan, even in the first game, they were very lucky to hold on and win it. I think Milan could play, could play that defensive football, Catenaccia football, but I've not seen it in a very, very long time at Milan. I don't think they're gonna come and play that kind of football where they just sit back and wait. I don't think that's gonna happen. So, and that's why I think Spurs will eventually find a way of going through. Spurs 3. Milan 1 on aggregate. Game number 3 is Chelsea, Borussia Dortmund. Come on! This is one where I think how bad Chelsea have been is how good Dortmund have been after the World Cup. Dortmund have gone 11 games unbeaten in all competition after the World Cup, winning about 10 of those. Okay? Of course, look, that is incredible from Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea have won 1 game in 2023. They've won 1 game in 2023, and it's purely ridiculous. Now, in the first leg, Dortmund won that game 1-0, but Chelsea were the better side. They did create a lot of chances. They had a better XG in that game. Karim Adeyemi, the player that actually scored in that game, is not going to be playing, so that's going to be a massive problem for Dortmund, because I think they will try to sit in. They'll try to soak up the pressure and then release those players that can run. And Karim Adeyemi would have been the very best player to do that, because he's the fastest player in the German Bundesliga as we record this video in 2023. So can Chelsea find a way? The problem with Chelsea has always been this season, actually this year, scoring goals. They do not concede a lot. You look at when did Chelsea last concede 3 goals in a game? They actually don't concede those many per 90. The problem is they also don't score those that many in they don't score that many in a single Premier League game. In the whole of February, Chelsea scored 1 goal, Joao Felix against West Ham. That is how ridiculous they are, and that is how primitive they are in terms of scoring goals, and very inefficient. All right, So this is a game that will need Chelsea to score, of course, more than 1 goal to progress. I think Dortmund will definitely score in this game. And that's why I think Chelsea are going to win this on penalties. If Chelsea are going to go through, they are going to win this on penalties. And I'm going to predict a 2-1 win for Chelsea in the 90s and extra time. And then we will go to penalties and Chelsea will definitely progress, okay? Dortmund fans, be with me here. I love Borussia Dortmund. I love Jude Bellingham. I love Karim Adeyemi. I love Sebastian Haller. And I think Dortmund, all they have got to do here is come and protect their win. And that's why Dortmund will not go through. I think Dortmund are a very quality side in terms of attacking football. I don't think they will sit back. I don't think they will be playing a Bournemouth kind of style 5-4-1. No. But I think Chelsea will look to pin them inside. And Chelsea, if they can get an early goal in this game, it will be a changer. It will be a massive game changer. So Chelsea to win this one in extra time, 2-1. Borussia Dortmund to go out on penalties. Sorry, Dortmund, I love you so much, but I don't see how I can back you against this Chelsea side. I don't think you're that good. I think you've won almost each and every game that you played in this season, but yeah, I'm sorry. The last game, of course, this week is Benfica taking on Club Brugge. Benfica are really in flying form in Portugal. They could be the Ajax, they could be the underdogs if Napoli are not, all right? But I think Benfica with the pedigree, Benfica with the experience, Benfica with the amount of times they've actually done it over and over again, they feel like a much better side to call underdogs than Napoli, although Napoli have the better team, better form, and some of the best players in Europe right about now. Club Brugge have actually massively fallen off ever since we saw them in the group stages. They have since sacked their manager and replaced him with Scott Parker, who employs Scott Parker to take them through the UEFA Champions League round of 16. Like, who does that? That must have been the most ridiculous piece of business a club has ever done. You are in the UEFA Champions League. You sack your manager because he's not doing very well at home, which is very understandable. And then you bring in Parker and you bring in a championship level manager. It's ridiculous. It's purely ridiculous for me. And I don't think he's actually turned things around at Club Brugge. They lost the first game to Benfica way back in Belgium. I don't see them change this game. I think this is a game that we're going to see goals and Benfica goals. Ramos could score a hat-trick in this game because Club Brugge are not a side that are going to sit back. They have no reason to sit back. They'll try to go for this game. They'll try to have a go at Chelsea, and that is where the openings are going to come in. Benfica 4, Club Brugge 2 on the evening, and Benfica to progress through. I don't have any doubts in my mind. I don't have anywhere in my mind where I'm like, could Club Brugge do the unthinkable? Not in this round. Not with Scott Parker and not on my show. All right, hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Those are the last games that those are the first games actually of the second leg of the round of 16. Benfica to go through over Club Brugge. That's my prediction. Chelsea to go through over Borussia Dortmund on penalties. That's my prediction. Tottenham Hotspur will overturn this in the 90 minutes against Milan, and Bayern will comfortably go through against Paris Saint-Germain in Germany as well. You agree? Let me know in the comment box below. You disagree? Let me know in the comment box below as well. All right, speak to you right in the next one.